from Poison Rock, and as, with my pleasure, we give a huge welcome back to Kjell Braaten, coming back to speak about the updating. How are you, Kjell?
I'm fine. Yeah, it's I'm always fine talking to you.
Yeah, we started as just interviewing, becoming friends. That's the beauty of sometimes meeting musician and artists, because at the end we think everyone is an artist, in its own way. But I mean, it's really just 4 months, something like that, and you released a lot and really good music, amazing music. And I remember you said to me about the acoustic oscillator that it was a little bit different, and maybe you weren't sure that maybe wouldn't like to my taste, but it did it. So what about acoustic oscillator? Because now it's out for from March, I guess. Yeah, it's out for a couple of months.
Yeah, it actually was out for a few years.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like better knowledge of the people.
I kind of remade it. So yeah, the whole EP, the cabin EP is actually a collection of things I've done for other projects. I've decided to add acoustic oscillator because I think it's a good song myself. And back in the days, I used to work with this really nice guy back in Salzburg before I left for the west side of the country, and he was in this really cool band that did this really organic kind of ambient electronica stuff. The Quantum Field Trip, really good band. Nobody listens to them. It's really a pity because it's good stuff. And they were like
material for interview. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So, and they made this really cool song called what was it? It wasn't acoustic oscillator. It was my head is still. I have to check actually. It doesn't really matter. It was I think it was. I'll see if I can find it here in my broken screen. Anyways, I think it was Universal Oscillator. Yeah, there it comes. My brain sometimes gives some brain parts.
You're always busy, that's normal.
Yeah, and it's a really good kind of ambient, very all electronic song composed with electronic equipment. And they asked me if I could do something about it, so I decided that instead of making a remake or a remaster or I decided to just remake it with all acoustic instruments.
That's beautiful.
But they sent me all the tracks for the songs.
Yeah, keep on going. And
okay, so I think we have some delay going on here.
Yeah.
So I got all the tracks for the song from the band, and I just went through each and every track, and I figured out, okay, how can I recreate this sound with an acoustic instrument? And I took a deep dive into my extended collection of instruments, which is not only like Viking Age stuff, but like things from all over the world. And then the acoustic oscillator came out in the other end.
Okay. So, I mean, you mentioned acoustic from all around the world. Now I'm interested. Which are these acoustic instruments from all around the world?
Oh, there's a lot of them. I actually have a video out on YouTube where I'm presenting all these instruments.
Okay.
It's called like, what's all these weird instruments or something? Because the last like 20-25 years or something, I've been like mainly focusing on ancient Nordic stuff. But before that, I was studying like ancient music from all over the world, and I've been working with youth integration programs for kids through music and dance and these kind of things. And I always managed to master one, or not master, but at least play something on one instrument representing every culture involved in the project.
Yeah.
So I've always been doing a lot more than just Nordic stuff, and it's good to actually finally get to do a little bit of that.
That's always, of course, like in Blotta, you can hear that as well. It's not only ancient. I mean, there's maybe few of ancient of a Nordic. It's a more kind of mix. I always say Blotta because it's well, like everyone knows, and one of my favorite album of the few last year. And you're planning to do another album like that?
Yeah. It's I do. I've been planning another album for a very long time. It was actually planned to release last autumn, but every time I try to make it happen, something comes up and something ruins the whole plan. So that's why I decided to really release the Cabin and the next EP in the first place, because I felt that, more than a year since my last album, I do actually owe my followers some music now. So, and I still haven't been able to start that next album, the songs are pretty much planned, but I just haven't been able to start recording it.
But it's like the songs are almost ready. It's all gonna be like in the same sound and vibe or Blotta, or something a little bit more different.
Hey, it's me you're talking to. When did I make two albums that I like each other? I know it's gonna be very different from Blotta.
Yeah, but the core is that it's you composing, it's not someone else. So.
No, it's going to be a lot more folky.
Okay.
It's gonna be a song-based album with only songs with lyrics and verses and refrains and those things. At the moment, I'm trying to decide if I should go only ancient instruments or if I should drop that idea and use like double basses and those kind of instruments also.
Put some electronic in it, do something weird, something experimental. That at the end it comes out always something experimental, even if you're using just ancient instruments, because being acoustic, some of them, I think you can experiment a lot with them. That's the beauty of acoustic ancient instrument, that you can do anything you want, because guitar, bass, and drum are just that. The other ancient instrument is another word. Yeah, but as well, like my voice is going out. You've been as well in this year when Vikings Valhalla was released. You are not composed, but participating in composing of the music again.
Yeah, or to be all honest, I participated in making the music for the first season, and since I was traveling all year round last year, I couldn't make it to participate. So they actually used some of my older things that I delivered for them the year before. So yeah, I'm in there, but I didn't make something specific for that.
So they use what you basically give them previously, basically. Yeah.
So, but I mean, Trevor Morris is a magician when it comes to making music, and he managed to put some of my stuff for first season in very good use on the second season too. So.
This is always, I think, an exciting experience as well, that your music, it's on the screen, let's say like that, because now we watch things from phone, like me, laptop. So, but anyway, in a big distribution. But of course, I think, you played in a lot. You played in the market, in big stage, festival, whatever. In your music, it's in, like I said, big distribution. In your opinion, really personal opinion, which you think it's more closer to yourself?
Of all the projects, or?
No, like the performing of hearing your own music.
I do like. Yeah, I do. Oh, sorry. I do like the smaller stages. I really like intimate shows, like we did the Blotta show, the one and only performance of the Blotta album live at Midgardsblot in the Guildhall last year, which was absolutely amazing. That would not have been good in a big stage,
Yeah, that's maybe more in a for close, I can say, intimate situation, more like. Of course, maybe I think it was packed of people, but anyway.
Yeah, I was so surprised because the show wasn't even announced before the same week as the Blot, and I mean, it was filled to the rim, and only half the people actually managed to get in because it was full. So there was a lot of people that had to just give up. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, but what can you expect? That, like I said, that album was really something that was hard, like it was tough album, like really to manage, because really it's good for reading. I said every time when you feel, I don't know, the heartbreak, you start with the first song, second day second song. So that's how I do it. Each day one song, and you manage it. Especially the beginning, it's really take to the core. You can, I feel it in all the solar plexus at the beginning. It's really hard, but people loved it because they are learning to see the shadow in order to reach the height. That's blue. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the experience of doing that on stage. I'm so thankful that Runa actually pushed me to do that, and I mean, I think the hardest thing I ever did on stage was the part when I got to the third song, because we changed it around a little bit at the Blota concert, or whatever we should call it. At Midgardsblot, when I was going into Syria with the sorrow, alone on stage with my organistrum, kind of breaking my heart out for everyone, which is kind of hard. But to stand up there and see that, at least 90% of the people in front of me are crying. That's pretty damn strong.
That's intense. It must be overwhelmed on being on the stage by that as well.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the strongest moments I've ever experienced on stage.
That's beautiful. But as well, I mean, coming back to the releases, on the day that because you said that the official date of releasing of Ragnarok, because it's a Ragnarok, yes. When is going to be released?
It's going to be released the 23rd. As a single. There has been
Jotun as well before as a single be released, like the something which Jotun is.
The plan was really to release the full EP, which would be 4 songs at Tuesday, actually, this Tuesday coming up. But there's been so much stuff kicking me in the face this spring, you have no idea. But
knowing you, I can imagine.
Yeah, so we had to postpone it a little bit, and to be honest, I had someone helping out with the cover for this EP, and unfortunately, the person who was supposed to do this couldn't do it for personal reasons. So all of a sudden, we stood there. We had no cover, and my friend and amazing designer Beate just went for it, and she managed to make the cover for Jotun. But then we had this project that you want me to talk about later with these installations and stuff.
Yes,
she's the chief of that. So there was a lot of work going on there, and we just couldn't do it, so we had to postpone. So and there was other things going on with the music, so I decided to do it in 3 parts. So Jotun came out, then we had to delay the release of the EP. So instead of delaying the whole thing, since the song Ragnarok is finished, I decided I'll just release that on the 23rd and release the rest later.
Okay, so you just get a taste here and there. But Jotun is it's really like, I mean, like all your music, it's particular. I don't know how to describe the sound of Jotun. It's you can describe the sound of it. I can't, because I can't. It's I don't know if it's a folk, if it's not folk. I don't know if there is electronic, not electronic. I don't know what it. I don't know.
I have no idea, I honestly don't care. But it's, for me, it's like I really like this kind of sound, and recently I've had some conversation with some people that means a lot to me, that actually have been pushing me on making more of that kind of music. I used to do it back in the days. If you go back to my album Sverd, the sword, from back released in 2010, I think, which was the music for a play I put up together with some pretty famous actors in Norway. Amongst others, there's this guy with this big red beard that you probably have seen from North of the Wall.
Yes. So maybe, in some, I think maybe
Yeah,
some social media, some clips on some
yeah,
social
yeah.
media.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, Christopher Hivju was one
yeah,
of those guys working together with me on making that happen
the top one.
for a few years. But if you go back to that album, it's kind of similar to the Jotun track. Like my song Slaget ved Stiklestad, or The Battle of Stiklestad. It's pretty much the same, and I've been making a lot of that, but I never released much of it. So maybe I should just go in to do that. I kind of restricted myself into be completely authentic acoustic blah 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 for so many years. So maybe I'll just have some fun.
Follow your own mood at the moment. There's
Yeah,
not like one album is acoustic, one EP should be, I don't know, more electronic or whatever, like
yeah.
engineer.
It'll always be acoustic, but the way I like Bluta is a very personal, very down, very honest album. Like the songs from both the Cabin and from the EP coming now with Jotun and Ragnarok it's all things I've been doing for commission for other projects. Unfortunately, none of those projects ever made it for the screen. Um,
She's,
and
it's good for us, but it was bad for the past.
yeah,
But now we are enjoying, so everything is.
yeah, but if it would be out on the screen, it would be out for a long time. So the thing is that when you do work for order like that for commission, they normally buy the rights for the music for a certain amount of time. And when that time's up, you can release it yourself as a musician because then you own all the rights again,
Right,
which
of course.
is why I made this EPs now, because I like the songs. So it's not like it's not my music in the same way as Ferd or Bluta.
Yeah.
It's a kind of constructed work. It's like, okay, like Jotun, what the project was that there was this scene in this short movie that should be when the Jotnes are marching from the mountains to go down and fight the gods in the final battle of Ragnarok, which is why I placed these two songs after each other,
Because of course the sun and then the fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the first song, Jotun, is actually when the Jotuns are marching out of the mountains to join in the Battle of Ragnarok, and then Ragnarok comes, So it's
the further song will be as well the continuing like of these kind of a connection song.
Yeah, it's a bit different. It's also a work I did for commission a few years back. It's a little bit different, but it is called Aftermath.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of, you can put them together. So Jotun will be before the battle, and then Ragnarok will be the battle, and then the aftermath is when the world rises again somehow, which is why I decided to make those three together.
It's always like the darkness, the moment when you face it, and the releasing.
Yes.
And the peace within.
Yeah.
It's always
yeah, and that's also very funny because I was rather surprised actually by a very someone who very soon became a very good friend of mine, Claire Mully, contacted me this winter about a project she wanted to do that we are to do at Oxford University in June.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny because I just decided to make this EP when she asked me if I would take part of her storytelling, because she rewrote the ancient poem of Völuspá, which is where this thing is told,
Yeah.
So we're gonna do. She's doing the storytelling, and I'm doing the soundscapes with my old instruments and effects and stuff at Oxford.
That is going in Oxford this summer.
Yeah, in June. Yes.
That's amazing. I mean,
they have this big event. The event is all about. It's at Oxford University. The event is all about how these old poems and old scripts are given to a modern audience today. What's the Skald today doing? Kind of. So how do we try to reach out today to actually talk about this?
Yeah,
which is kind of cool, and we're gonna.
Some things like, for example, we should do, for example, in the south here in Sicily or in Greece with the Odyssey, for example.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, some people
So
believe.
yeah, so we're gonna be the musical thing, or yeah, I wouldn't really call it music. It's more like a soundscapey thing with her amazing storytelling skills doing her story. I really look forward to that.
Yeah, that's, I mean, really, there is a, I think, but really, I hope that this summer we'll be able to do really like, I'm gonna pick you, Aruna, and everyone, just all the interview all together. It's gonna be like, something weird but funny at the same time. Because, come on, this is the third and fourth interview we do together, the third or the fourth, I don't remember anymore. It's all the time new things you're doing. You are like keep pointing all the time. But I like
Yes.
when I talk about the gathering, what it's about, because I saw that on the screen, on the social media,
Yeah.
and that was beautiful. Something really important for the nature and the human, the society.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
for the climate. It's important. I mean,
So the concept is actually the gathering is the big computer convention in Norway, which apparently is one of the 3 largest computer conventions in the world. And we have this. It's actually kind of funny that I was working on that, because it's been every year, unless the pandemics, of course. We have this huge building that was built for the Olympic Games back in the 90s, and it's called the Viking Ship.
Okay.
And it's like a gigantic hall, and when you're inside it looking up, it kind of looks like there's a Viking ship upside down above you.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool, but okay. So there's this big computer convention with all these gamers, all these programmers, all sorts of. I mean, they had to cut down a little bit now because we're still struggling from pandemics. So I think there were only 3,000 people with computers in there.
But it's a lot already.
Yeah, imagine putting up the internet cables for that.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, it's so huge. They actually custom made a special made internet connection for for this convention, because that's the biggest connection of internet in Norway.
Yeah.
So because imagine 3,000 gamers gaming.
At the same time, with the same connection, everyone would be like
that's big.
packed of data.
Yeah. So, but anyways, my friend Beate is head of designs for the whole event, and they have this different concept going every year. And this year the concept was that the world we left the world behind because we ruined it, and now we're trying to. We stranded on this new place, some comet somewhere, and we're trying to make a living up there. Yeah. That's the concept, and they hired me in to do some sound for some installations they were working on, and there was 4 concepts that I was composing for. The first concept was the entrance, because they have this big event when they finally open the halls, and you imagine like 1,500 people coming, rushing in there with like big trolleys with computers and
of course,
yeah. So I made an installation for that, placing several speakers around the audience when they were in the hall waiting, playing like sounds, all kind of like the door opens and closes with the sound of some air vent from a spaceship kind of sound, and then you have this whoop, whoop, whoop kind of sounds in the hallway and this kind of things. And the second one was the headquarters, which is a big container in the hall, which is like this whole planet is powered by crystals.
So exactly.
Yeah, so in there they have this big crystal that is kind of like charging the whole ecosystem on the planet, and they have like all sorts of, so people can go in there and touch things, and sounds comes, and
exactly.
So I made the design for that, and I made another design which is like it's more of a system to show people when they can have speakers on and not on these kind of things. And then lastly, the one that you've seen, which is they're trying to because if you're gonna survive somewhere, you need an ecosystem. So they made this big globe, and in there was this place where they were supposed to make this ecosystem.
Yeah.
So it's filled up with plants and crystal and lights and stuff, but they needed sound. So I tried to create. So I made this 5.1 system, which so we have sounds coming from all around you.
Okay.
And I put a lot of sounds of leaves, bees, all sorts of, because you can't make an ecosystem without bees and, insects and flowers growing and,
They are the main things in in nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun to work with it. And it's always fun to work with surround sound when you have like speakers all around you, and but it's a lot of work, to determine. So
yeah.
So when you're in this dome, you will have these sounds all around, and all of a sudden there's a drone coming flying by and around you a couple of times, and then it leaves that direction.
That's
it's
cool.
a lot of.
Yeah, but I mean that for what I saw, the inside of this tent, you feel really like you were in a nature, even if it's you just close your eyes, just watch the nature itself, like the branch of the trees, the plants.
And that's Beate and her team's work. Yeah. They're amazing at making these designs. I mean, they have the biggest ideas, and they actually manage to make them.
That's
what they wanted to do, because imagine in such a place there's a lot of noise. I mean, 3,000 people playing games with speakers, and it's a lot of noise. So they wanted to create this little space where you can just go in and disappear into something,
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we managed to do.
But there would be like, this project is just staying there, but are they just working to put this idea more out in the world as well?
No, this was for that week. Now it's taken down and it's not going up again. Next year there will be another concept.
Okay, because this type of ideas are good in a world that really we are forgetting. Maybe there is some awakening here and there, but in the real, really in the real world, then maybe we need the places like that, especially in the city. Because we need to have the city. It's nature. We know it's beautiful, but of course we need to have the big city in order to work, for everyone. And maybe for people they are working in the city, that's a lot of claustrophobic. You can, these spaces and just take a moment. I think even the city itself will be like thankful, because you find the places plus you give work to more people.
Yeah.
So more employment. And as well, it's a way to boost up all the cement in the city, to build up the nature. But it's that thing that should be, I think, for put it like that, say to, I don't know, for any government, like this is the proposal, why we don't do something like that, because that's a good idea, and I wish that more people like that in the world would do that.
It is coming. I've been a lot into this because this is what my ex-girlfriend is working with.
Yeah,
it's her job, and like in Norway, there is a lot going on, and the project she's working with has made a lot of these kind of things. And we do have, like in Stavanger, there's this whole part of the city which is an eco city project. And Vibeke has put up several places in Bergen where, like, for instance, making taking the rooftop of a home for elderly people, making it into a area for growing food. And then you can take kindergartens and school children there together with the elderly people and learn how to grow food, and these kind of projects.
It's a good way to communicate as well for our generation.
Yeah, and then you have like companies like Apple, for instance, who used to be this shit company making awesome stuff. But nowadays, all the main Apple headquarters in the world are self-sufficient.
Okay, which is an improvement for them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're self-sufficient with electricity. They're actually making their own electricity via solar stuff on the spot. All their areas have like cafes, art exhibitions, concert halls that present local artists.
Okay.
It's like yeah, that they're really, really, really into the new way of thinking that we need to get forward. So there are main big companies dealing with these things,
And I think
and
it's just
that's what we need.
Yeah, that is just a way, like I say, of movement, because one country start, then another country will follow, and then slowly, of course, because it's slower, it's a slow process, will reach all the, I mean, the globe. Maybe Italy maybe will be the last.
Nah, I don't think so. But
I hope,
yes,
I hope, but if it's not, I mean, I'm just waiting. Because like you said, I want always to move, but not because I hate my country, because Sicily, it's beautiful. We have a lot of nature there, which is
I
unseen.
would love to go there one day.
Really, believe me, I post picture on the social media. People say, "Where are you?"
I know.
Do you have mountain? Yeah, we have mountain and waterfall and everything. Even in the town, in the small town, which is beautiful. And I'm trying to work here, but of course, with my work isn't easy being a naturopath. And people, shamanism, people don't reach that here, because we are too much in the older time, in the past, and it's too much in the Western society. So if it's not working, I have friends living in Stavanger, so that would be my first choice, Bergen or Stavanger. And I will see this summer.
Not easy to make a living from this here either. No.
Yeah, but it's maybe there are a little bit more knowledge about that as well to the
knowledge is there.
The holistic life. So where anyone can see Kjell this summer, this part of the year.
Well, let me see. It's quite a journey actually. So I'll see if I can see anything on this computer here. It's a little bit difficult since my screen died. Yeah, whenever I close it, I can see it for a couple of seconds. No, but okay. So I'll start up down south in Norway at a Viking market. I'm leaving this weekend. I'm gonna go for an adventure and check out a few ancient places on my way there. So I'm leaving early. After that, I'm gonna go to do some rehearsals with a band I'm in.
Which band is
out of Norway.
Which band?
That would be in the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when I get back home, I'm going to a place called Mosterhamn in Norway, where I'm gonna be a part of the opening of a brand new exhibition at a museum there. And then there will be the Karmøy Viking Market with
Karmøy, yeah.
The big ones in Norway.
Yeah, I heard.
And and from there I'm heading over to Oxford to do the performance with my fair friend Claire. And then I'm going to Lithuania to take part of first of a festival there, and after that I'm going to do a couple of gigs and do some lectures for some schools and whatnot. It's not all set yet, or at least I don't have the names of the places.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do a lecture for 3,000. What do you call that in English? Spider. When you're young, you can attend this project where you're going a lot out in the forest and learn how to survive in the forest.
It's a survival kind of.
Yes, the scouts.
Scouts, yes, exactly.
So I'm gonna do a lecture for 3,000 of them at once. That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun as well.
Yeah, and then from that, let me see.
Your schedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend some time with my mom actually, and then I'm going down to Kristiansand to do a market there. Then I'll go to. I think I will do some projects like workshops for youth projects in Sarpsborg, like southeast of Norway, before the market in the same time. And then I'm gonna be driving for 4 days to get up to Lofoten.
Okay, Lofoten Island.
In northern Norway, where I'm gonna do lectures and a concert day for a week. And then I'm gonna do a show in a small place called Fauske, which I have no idea what we're gonna do. The thing I know is that a friend of mine who is a storyteller, she has a friend that is an amazingly good belly dancer, and then they want to make a story about Viking that go through Ukraine down to to Miklagard, and he finds this belly dancer that he brings home, and I'm gonna make some music for that.
I mean, you are way more busier than
Yeah,
everyone.
and I still have a lot more,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
mean,
how it is. It's gonna be a lot.
yeah, but it's good. I mean, come on, if because it's like your time. You just,
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
coming springs, summer, and you get ready on your van for living.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, this is when I make money. I mean, this is when I get my income, because I don't really get an income from selling albums or from streams, because there's just not enough people, listening to my music for that, which is fine, because I earn my money from this.
Yeah,
But I need to do this. I sometimes I do miss to have some spare time and just travel when it's warm outside. Just have a vacation in summer, but I still have the best job in the world.
yeah, exactly. The job that everyone is, I think a lot of people is like envying you in that moment, because having a job that's a job, a passion that leads you to just go really in spring, December, any time of the year that you just leave your place and just go. It's basically going for adventures. That's what it is as well.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I make my money from traveling around, seeing beautiful places, meeting beautiful people, hanging around a campfire on different spots. I mean, what more can you ask for?
nothing, because I can imagine the view when you wake up, and I saw maybe you posted some things on Instagram, I think, on when you wake up in the morning, the amazing views you have, like different places, because it's all surrounded by nature. That as well. I mean, Norway, like in all the northern part of Europe, it's beautiful. All the world is beautiful, but as well, like you have more, like say, longer green than all the throughout the year that the rest of the Central European.
Well, we do have a very nice summer up here. We do. Winters in the part of Norway where I live is not so nice, really.
Okay, it's hot stuff. I guess it's
It's wet and cold and icy, and we don't get snow and such. We just got ice, with water on top of it. So it's dangerous to drive. It hurts the body. The winters are rough. But I mean, traveling Norway in summer.
that's it's really, I mean, it's really pleasant, because as well the temperature is not, because you're supposed, if you do something like there in the summer in Sicily,
Oh no, I wouldn't survive.
the best moment, I think it's September, October, or now that's it, because after June and July,
Yeah,
40 degrees, 42 degrees, it's a hell. And
yeah.
plus all the
I mean,
mountains burning, it's not good to see.
yeah. I mean, we could have it could be in really warm days. We could be close to 30, but normally it would be somewhere between like 15 and 25.
Like now, basically. So
Yeah.
that's not right now. It's the Norwegian summer in Sicily, basically.
Yeah.
So I know what I have to take with me this summer. Okay, basically what I'm wearing now.
But then it's also very different, because Norway is a very long country. I mean,
Yeah,
it's long, and the climate is completely different. From
south
south
of
to
Norway.
north. It's like when we were starting the Sami project. I mean, the Vaimugela, we were up there, studying culture, because it's all about teaching school children about Sami culture. And when talking to the elderly people up there, they were like, "Yeah, it's a bit pleasant, but it's really, really scary, because it never gets like minus 40 degrees Celsius anymore."
Okay.
And these guys grew up in tents up there, and in minus 40 degrees Celsius in winters.
Yeah, and like elder people are always like, I mean, it's cold, but they're like, they grew up with that, so they're used to that. And now for them, it's warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
As they say, it's pleasant that it doesn't get that cold, but it's scary too.
Yeah, because the climate is changing a lot. We
Yes.
never had in Sicily really. We have mountains, a lot of mountains, a lot of mountains, which some of them are similar in the structure to the Dolomites, so really
Yeah.
high mountain. Many of them are like Rocky Mountain, lot of rocks, but there are some of them which are actually, you can say, Alps style, And you have, of course, in any part of the world, there are the streams, river take it away, just mainly streams, between the forests in the woods. Usually every year it has been like from the first snow, so you have really the water and clear water in the stream from maybe December, November until February. Then it gets dry. You don't see, you just see stones, not any more streams. But now it rained, and it's still raining, because it has been raining this today and the other day, from November, and still now, if you go into the woods, which is completely weird, never happened, I think it's maybe 15 years, you still have really water which is super clean, that you can even drink. That wasn't never like that. And for that, we don't know what to expect in the summer, because it turns the opposite. The summer is way much hotter than the winter, so it's the opposite, and it's scary because there's no, like I say, like my grandma say, there's no middle season anymore. So it's a little bit scary, and but I think, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think that the damage, it's out there, but we can still work on it. We have a small chance to make the situation improve. Because if I do one thing, if you do another things, if every one of us start to do the smallest things, everything's improve. I don't think in Norway you get out of your apartment or your house and you see trash in front of your house. I don't think so. Here you go outside and you see not just the trash, you see just beans of trash. Leave it there 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and people get upset and they burn it, the trash, to like act of rebellion, and that's not healthy, because it's all oxygen. I don't remember. It's getting bad for your health.
Yeah,
but it is. Leave it there, and we don't do that. The differential. Just it's all one bag of trash. That's not healthy. So we need people here, and at least we should need people that teach at least to the people to how to start to change, because we were once, it's a big places, it's a beautiful places, and we could have really, it's mainly the problem of the city. If you go really in the center,
you really need to and there are companies because I think that some part of the way to make this change is to make it, losing words. If you make it, into a business, if people can make money on this, then. And here in Norway, we're quite good with this. We have, like garbage. We have to divide it into plastic, paper,
Normal,
Yeah, we must, because you worst case you wouldn't, but worst case you could get fees for not doing it.
Exactly.
You also, if you buy a bottle with soda, water, whatever, then you can bring the empty bottle back into the shop, and you will get money for it.
Yeah. Incentive is well, right? Or like a way to put people like, okay, there is a plastic or a glass, for example, in northeast of Italy, in Tyrol. That's a completely different mindset. When I was living there, I had just like a glass bottle of water. I was drinking that, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And when they were empty, I was going downstairs when there was the small market, and they would fill it with water. So that's a good way. Like you said, if I have a plastic bottle, I go on the mall and put all that, and they give you money to use on the grocery.
Exactly.
Yeah, but here it's all given to the money of corrupted people. So
exactly. So that's a problem.
Yeah.
There are a couple of companies that's trying to do, and this is very nice. I really like that. I got a couple of earbuds to try out a few weeks back. Unfortunately, they weren't so good for what I was supposed to use them for, but they will probably be very good for most people. It's for when you travel, you can put them in your ears and it gets quite silent. They're made from recycled ocean plastic.
Okay.
which is very nice because today, collecting plastic from the ocean is a big, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what these companies are trying to do is to try to make it to a resource.
Okay.
Because if they can use this plastic from the ocean to create new products, then they could actually buy this resource from the companies that would collect it, which means that it will become a business to collect plastic from the ocean.
Yeah, it should be something that you do by your own heart, without that. But some people.
But that's not how the world works, That's how you and me work.
I can to a topic. I mean, there are people who live, just by themselves in the nature, not. But you can't. No matter how beautiful that concept is, just living in the nature and forgetting about society, but it's not how actually we are. Because sometimes we need to be in the society.
We use electricity, we use computers, we're a part of this.
Yeah, we are in the, what is that, 21st century? Yeah, I'm getting, sometimes I say 22nd century and just moved on with the time. So we need, because we have, for example, connection, like internet connection, like you say, light, water. I mean, water, you can find a way, but we are, I think, main people from the Western world. I used to grow up in the being in the commodity, we are to be spoiled. So I think one of us, I put myself as well in that, in a completely lost situation, you don't know where to start.
No, and also, I mean, most people, they just want to have a job. They want to go to their job. They want to get some money so they can go back and buy food for their beloved ones,
Yeah.
And the big companies that employ you is, you're dependent on them.
Yeah.
So if we can make it sufficient for this big company that makes plastic products, if we could make it better for them to use recycled plastic than using new plastic,
exactly,
then we would make a big change.
Yeah, but it's the same. There's the same things, like if no one said government, but if there wasn't so corrupted things around here, and for people who working in the we can say in the trash, for working to collect them, and they put more money to invest in them because they're not getting paid, so we're not doing our job. That's normal. But then you see, people from not from Palermo. It's amazing. People from abroad that usually are called immigrants coming from South Africa, so from Africa. They, from their own art, they just collect the trash and put it away. And then where we live, they just created a trash bin for glass, for plastic, and you see these people helping because maybe in their own country with their own mindset that's normal. So this is the opposite. They tried in this land to kick them away, but in the meantime they are teaching us how to live. That's a beautiful way. And then about this field, a lot of people are waking up here and seeing more this cultural exchange, because we are learning a lot from all this culture that we have here. That's I mean, Palermo is just, it's you think it's Italy, but it's not. You just go in the center of the city and you get lost between I don't know how many ethnicity we have, and it's beautiful because we have a center full of, you can meet older people from, I don't know, Asia, telling you story, elder people from every country, I don't know, Turkey, Guatemala, there is everyone, and that's beautiful. So you're supposed to not travel, to learn culture, but of course I want to travel because it's important. Yeah, but I think as well, like we said, if we made one of each us a small part, the world is getting a better place. And it's already a big place, but the climate change, it's a big topic and it's important because that's our...
and this will be the future, because with the climate change, let's not go into the discussion about what causes the climate change, but the climate is changing anyways, and this will change the world. This will change where we can live. There will be a lot of people that have to move, and the result of that is that there will be more immigrants around. That's just how it will be, because people need to be somewhere. They can't live under the sea.
We're the first one to get out of the sea. We're in high
but
high.
that brings me back to the project Fargespill, Game of Colors. I think I talked about it before, that I used to work with, where the whole concept is, they don't call it integration, they call it cultural work, but it is to a quite big extent integration project. But it's not about making everyone being Norwegians.
No, of course.
It's about meeting all these people with open arms, saying, "Hey, welcome to my place. What beautiful culture do you have in your baggage that you could teach to me, and I can teach you some of mine, and then we can make something new together."
That's beautiful. I have to bring it here. I have to stall you and bring it here.
Yeah, because that's the way forward.
Yeah.
That's the way it's always been. I mean, go back to the Viking age. There's people claiming that Vikings were like Vikings. They lived up in north. They had blue eyes and, all of that shit. We know by now, by DNA studies, that is just rubbish. So let's not go there. But how did their culture evolve? It evolved because they traveled, met new people, they saw new things, and they brought it back to their own culture.
Just a small thing about the instrument that I don't know. We call it in Italian marranzano, which is the one dom dom. We have it, and we thought it was our, but no, it came from Norway. So when Normans came here, they brought it here. Simply.
Yeah, and we didn't get it from here because we got it from China.
So you see, all traveling until here. Yeah, but it's a way. I mean, it's the right.
I also think that China actually got it from far southeast.
Okay, that's the travel of an instrument. There should be written a story of a book about it. Someone.
Yeah.
But what I can say, Kjell, really, it was a pleasure to talk again with you, and as well having this open conversation about a lot of topics. And looking forward to see you somewhere here and there this summer, because we will know that someone.
Let's grab a couple of beers at Midgårdsblot.
Yeah, completely agree, for sure. Let's check Rune, everyone is there, and I'm looking forward and waiting for a year to meet all of you. And really, so
do we.
Yeah, have a nice day and see you this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. Thank you so much. And have fun out there. And looking forward for the release of Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'll have fun, and take care of yourself, Ada. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye. Sure. Bye. Bye. Have a good day.